And it's crazy how fast you can go from living large to being the brokest person in the room. So, yeah, I am the guy who usually works all kinds of overtime and gets a good check over $1,000 a week. And then I switched to third shift and made like half as much, honestly. It was pretty bad. And the reason I even did that is because I needed to go to third shift so I could have first shift availability to do my CDL classes. Long story short, that didn't work out because I didn't have my documents ready. And when I had to go rebuy my document, which was my diploma, I had to go ahead and spend money, and it would take 6 to 8 weeks. I couldn't wait that long. So I had to go back to second shift. But during the time, my job actually forced me to stay on third shift for a whole month. And for that month, I experienced the most brokest I've ever been in a couple years. And it did not feel good. So for that reason, I actually could sit here and say that I actually uh, rely on overtime. Overtime checks are my normal checks, guys. These are not like they're one and the same. Like my job and overtime are synchronized like the right and left part of my brain. There's no way that they are separated, even though they are literally separate and they do different things. But yeah, I'm trying to sound smart, but I'm not. Say that's one thing, right? Now, my job cut overtime for everyone, but when I went to third shift, I got 0 hours. If anything, I got maybe four every other week for a month. So that's a literal total of 8 hours. But then I woke up late a couple days because I wasn't used to the night shift, you know? So, and 4 hours of overtime turned into two real fast. And for the whole month, I got 4 hours of overtime instead of eight. And it was bad, man. It was bad, man. My checks are bad. And I got off of it. I'm finally back on second shift today, and I finally got overtime because there was actually work to do. And the discrimination against third shift is genuine discrimination. I'm not gonna lie. Don't know why they hate third shift, but man, there's a hate boner in there somewhere, man, because there are times where there is work to do, but they just choose to say no. It's really weird. But I know I can empathize with the federal employees a little bit better now. Now, obviously, I was not in their shoes while the government was shut down. I was getting money, and I was still getting paid. They were getting literal $0 and 0 cents, but I can at least understand a little bit because I was kind of scared that maybe I can't pay rent and things like that, or maybe I can't pay every bill that comes my way, and I actually couldn't. I had to borrow money to, I didn't have to borrow money to pay rent, but I had to borrow money to pay like this life insurance thing I got for my siblings. Because, earlier video, I already told you guys, what happened with my fam and stuff. So I'm not gonna, if I go, then my fam's good. That's how I feel about that. So I do pay for that. And it's an investment tool too. It's like part life insurance, part investing. And that's pretty cool. I like that. So I'm actually going to get money out of it. So I'm putting money in for later and later for myself and later for my family. So yeah, I can kind of relate a little bit. And then on top of that, I'm still grateful that I do have a job, even though I'm complaining about how overtime is like the backbone of my life right now because of the dumb debts I accumulated and bills that I need to pay and things of that nature. I can still empathize with others because, and I'm grateful for what I got because, man, there's jobs where AI are actually taking people's jobs. And the way that the companies are firing the employees are so scummy. I got a friend called Amari Games, and this guy, he unfortunately he told the story. He got fired from his job off of idle time that basically didn't exist. They're just trying to basically say, "Hey, man, you went to the bathroom for point 0.2 seconds too long, and we got to get rid of you like now." And they got rid of him, and because there's an AI robot that can do his job with that doesn't need to get paid at all ever, and they're just literally looking for people to fire in order to save money and live better for themselves, not for the community. And it's pretty messed up. So while I do complain about not getting my overtime, there's also not a robot that can do my job right now because building the pallet is something that you have to actually think about and be intricate because there's so many different items, so many different shapes, and so many different ways to build a pallet at the warehouse I work at. There's just no way that a robot's doing that and not costing like $700,000 per robot, or more. It's just too complex of a task. So I'm not scared of myself being replaced, honestly. But I do understand that there's other people that have literally been replaced. by AI, and it's just crazy that this is the world we live in. It is, it's real. But yeah, I think I told you guys about I needed to get my CDL, didn't get my documents, and that's the real reason why I couldn't stay on third shift. But the lack of overtime was honestly planned so that I could get my CDL. And then the moment I get my CDL, I'm going to go to the driver's side of the warehouse I work at so that we can just get money because it's like 34 an hour starting, and that's wonderful. So I was definitely down to do that. But once again, didn't have my diploma, couldn't start. It was a bad thing. And then my job literally forced me to stay because I said after the second day of going to third shift that I'm not doing this, bro. Because that's when I found out my diploma was actually not with me and it would take 6 to 8 weeks to get it. And I only had 30 days to, say, hey, I want to go back to my normal job. I don't want this anymore. They kept me for all 30 days. It was bad time. I mean, it was fun when it comes down to the work. The work was very easy, but it doesn't matter. I wasn't getting a lick of overtime, and that is what mattered. I will work for my overtime rather than just get 8 hours of chill time. I'm not really trying to be chilling. Like, it's nice to chill, but I only chilled because I had to. I was literally forced to. So, with that being said, yeah, nah, I'm good on that. But with that being said, guys, man, that's really the video. I just kind of want to get a little rant and little understanding of other people and how they still have problems that I don't. And I'm grateful for what I do have right now. But I'm still mad about what happened with my job, to be honest. So thanks for listening up. You guys, it's been Yafala Gaming. Have a good night, guys. Have a good morning, wherever you are. Peace out.